Toronto in the historic Maple Leaf Gardens. TNT continues its coverage of the World Championship of Basketball. Tonight, Dream Team 2 meets Puerto Rico in a quarterfinal round game. Game 5 for the USA in its quest for the gold. And after last night's action, the United States and Russia stood atop the standings in Group 1. Russia just moments ago beating Canada to go 2-0, and they're headed for a big showdown on Friday night. Hi again, everybody. I'm Gary Bender. USA is halfway to the goal. They're 4-0. They have 4 games left to play. Last night, the Dream Teamers really had an outstanding performance. They posted their biggest margin of victory, 56 points over Australia. Working with me once again tonight, Chuck Daly, the guy who directed Dream Team 1 to the gold in Barcelona in '92. Chuck, I had the sense the Dream Team 2 started to evolve into what they anticipated when they started back in July 20th.
Yeah, they're developing an identity, and they're much more comfortable with each other. They're finding each other in certain situations. They're knowing where that three-point line is for sure, because it is much closer.
Puerto Rico comes in here after winning the gold in the Goodwill game. They lost last night to a young Russia team by 16 points. Carlos Morales, the coach, said, if the USA is going to beat us tonight, they're going to beat us from outside.
Yeah, he's made a decision that he's going to take away the inside game, but that could be a deadly mistake because this club is really starting to shoot threes and getting comfortable. Here's Mark Price, bang, three. Here's a transition to Reggie Miller. Pulls up, looks at it, measures it, hello. Then we go deep in the corner. Here's Dan Marley, one of our best three-point shooters. And finally, Miller on a bit of a roll, but he does get it.
They had 11 threes in the second half last night, 14 for the ball game. Puerto Rico's main man is Jose Ortiz. He's a former first-round draft pick of the Utah Jazz.
Yeah, Jose is easily their best player. He's played in Spain. He's played at high-level basketball, and he's the guy that's got to perform tonight for Puerto Rico to stay in the game. He's got to have a very big night.
He played collegiately at the University of Oregon before going to the NBA briefly. Well, Chuck will be back to further delve into the game plan of Puerto Rico. We'll be back with more here from the Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto after we take this break.
There's a place near you where the mountain climbers never touch the ground, where the bodies are made of iron and the bikes of titanium alloy.
It's been the site of 11 Stanley Cup championships tonight. The site of World Championship basketball. Gary Bender with Chuck Daly. Chuck, as advertised, we want to talk a little bit more about Carlos Morales and what Puerto Rico wants to do, getting more into depth.
Yeah, he wants to use that 30-second clock. He's going to go about 20 seconds before he goes for a shot. I asked him specifically about the pick and roll because the Americans were so effective with it. He said, we're going to trap it, and we'll see what happens. I think they'll be able to throw inside off it, but we'll see. And thirdly, he's going to use Carter to get in the lane. Carter is quick, very, an American player, basically. Very clever with the ball and can get in the lane. And he will be a little bit of a handful for our guards to handle.
He did not shoot well last night, though. He was 4 of 12. He's been one of these guys, though they've handled the point guards situation, too. They're going to live and die with him.
Yeah, he's not a shooter per se. I mean, he'll score, but he's not a great shooter. That's not really his job. His job is to penetrate and dish. And I think he'll be able to do some of that if they use the high post screens.
Well, Don Nelson has changed his starting lineup. We'll be back to show you that as we get ready for tip-off here in game number 5 for the USA, scoring off against Puerto Rico.
A World Championship of Basketball.
Championship of your own team has got to be the ultimate thrust.
Well, we mentioned Mincy, and we wanted to get an idea how this Puerto Rico team is thinking about Dream Team 2. And here is Jerome with his thoughts on that subject.
Well, it's not really a preparation for the game. Just go out and do the best you can do and just play hard and give a great effort. Everybody knows that the Dream Team has a great team, so we're just going to go out and play hard and see what happens.
2 officials for this game, one from Greece, Kostas Kouroumilis, and Fernando Malabildi from Brazil.
For USA.
Well, through the years, these two teams have met quite often, Puerto Rico and the United States. The United States leading the series 10 games to 1. Look at this, 5 games decided by 2 points or less.
That's prior to the NBA.
And their only win in the World Championship was in 1990, 81-79. But Puerto Rico winning that gold at the Goodwill game, and talking to Carlos Morales, it's the first World Championship they've ever won in the history of their country.
Yeah, it was a surprise to everyone, I thought, and they were ecstatic about it. But I think their club started believing too much in themselves. They came over here, dropped the game to Germany. Perhaps they shouldn't have. That's the one game I think they would have liked to have taken back.
So we'll get this thing underway. Jose Ortiz will be going up at center circle, 6'11". Ortiz, as we mentioned, was drafted by the Utah Jazz back in 1987. He was the 15th pick in the first round. Very charismatic player. He's number 4 in the white, as the United States will be in the dark blue. Ortiz is kind of the idol as far as basketball players are concerned in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, very experienced player. Played with Utah 20-some-odd games. He'll work well in the post, try to get people in foul trouble and back to basket.
It out. This team shot 71% the other night because of plays just like that.
When you're putting it in from 1 foot away, it makes your percentage go up dramatically.
Here's the guy you were talking about, James Carter. He has to operate well. He did not shoot well last night. 4 of 12, misses there. And here comes Nick. Dominic Wilkins on all the way, and he's going to be fouled, a reach-in foul on Dean Borges. Let's look now, Chuck, at the difference in the international rules.
Well, there are 2 20-minute halves instead of the 48-minute game. Trapezoid lane, 3-point field goal, 20.6 inches, 30-second shot clock, ball alive above the cylinder, and that's a dramatic play.
And you saw that foul limit of 5. And technical fouls counting as a personal foul, as Dominic Wilkins has another free throw coming.
And Don Nelson doesn't worry about foul. In fact, sometimes I think he gets a little happy when a guy gets in foul trouble. He can take care of minutes that way.
That's right. You distribute the minutes a little differently.
USA with a little trap down court after the free throw, creating a little bit of a problem.
Here's Eddie Cassino, and this is the guy that just drives Coach Morales nuts. He is such a talent, but his work ethic has really been suspect.
Yeah, he loves his talent. He had Don Nelson, in fact, talk to him, but he's really concerned he'll never develop. A lot of people felt that he was the player that could make it in the NBA.
Ortiz went outside to try to get that shot. Here's Reggie Miller, who was just sensational last night. He was 5 of 6 from three-point land. Starts out the night again. He had 31 points last night.
Yeah, he really owns the three-point line, and he's a premier shooter at our distance. And with a closer shot like that, he's deadly.
A lot of standing around, but this is what they want to do, Chuck, is burn off some of that shot clock.
But in order to be offensively efficient, now that's what has to happen. At the end of it, you got to make shots, or it's all for naught, because the score will be kept down, but it's still going to be a pretty good beating. They've got to make shots.
So Carter with the 3 is Reggie Miller again. Rebound is cleared effectively that time. Hayes was able to come up with it, and here comes Carter. Carter is the new point guard. When Morales took over as the head coach, they moved him into the point guard spot.
He plays more with a penetrating style. Pico Lopez, their 6'5" guard, very smart. He'll play a different style when he comes in the game at point guard.
7 seconds on the shot clock. Sean Kemp reaches in and commits the foul. Let's go back to the first 3 that Reggie Miller nailed from outside.
They're looking on transition to pull up. They're not looking to go to the basket. They're going to take that 3 because they feel so confident at that range.
14 of 22 threes last night. They had 11 in the second half. Miller was 5 of 6, as was Mark Price.
Here they're going to a lot. They're holding the ball, spreading the court. There's a pick and roll on the way. Obviously, when he sets that pick and roll, he's going to have to come off of it or nothing's going to happen.
10 seconds on the shot clock. Jumping out is Mincy. Well, it's worked twice. Not a lot of movement out there, but 2 shots have gone.
This is the way Croatia also will play, and that's a team I think will probably be in the finals.
Mincy with a rebound, out to Carter again. James Carter played at St. Thomas Aquinas. He's also played in the USBL and the CBA, so he has a lot of experience. This isn't exactly entertaining basketball right now, Chuck, standing around.
They're going to use that 20 just like he projected that they would do. They'll set the pick and roll, then they go one-on-one. He's got to make that shot, although they get the second.
Yes, they do. Ortiz with the rebound. They kick it back outside again, and they'll start it up again, the 30-second shot clock.
They're very happy right now. Down 7-6, you know, very happy.
Well, the other thing is they're not that deep. It doesn't take as much energy doing this, and that's what teams have done, like Australia just wore down last night.
International basketball will continue to see more and more and more of this.
Here comes Shawn Kemp, looking at the trailing people. Instead, takes it inside, follows his own shot, and he's fouled. Shawn Kemp did not miss a shot last night. He was 5 of 5 from the field. It's going to be Ortiz committing the foul. This shows you how they've started to shoot the ball so much better from three-point land.
Yeah, it's 37%. That's closer. We shoot about 32% average in the NBA. They were at 37. Then a dramatic improvement last night. We'll see if it holds up tonight. It's still a lower percentage shot.
Got to mention once again, it's 3 feet 2 inches in closer than the NBA line. As Kemp buries the second free throw. United States leading by 2, 8-6. Cassino, here he is. He is 22 years old. At one time, they thought he might have an NBA career. In fact, Golden State was interested in him, but he just hasn't been able to get the work ethic where they want it. Cassino in the corner, and Mincy can't hang on.
Offensive efficiency, if you're going to play this style, becomes so important.
Kevin Johnson, who leads the USA in assists.
Playing a little 2-3 matchup zone. Make the USA move the ball, and this allows the shooter like Miller to be wide open all the time.
You talk about a zone buster.
Oh, they've got a few.
Reggie Miller on fire again tonight. He's one of those guys, every time he puts it up, you expect it to go in.
Yeah, you do expect him to make the shot.
2 of 3 thus far tonight. 11-6 United States. Here's Carter again, killing some time, 10 seconds on the shot clock. That's when they make their move. They're burning off 20. Carter goes inside. Kevin Johnson reaching in and committing the foul. So we're going to take a break now at the 15:35 mark of this first half. The United States up by 5.
Inside Stuff, Saturdays, all summer long. USA Basketball.
Well, Puerto Rico poses a problem for us because if you reflect back about 6 or 8 years ago, they gave the United States a 1-point ball game and almost eliminated the United States out of the same tournament. So they're a very physical team. They're a very capable team. When they get it going, they can play with the best of them. I think the main thing is to limit their possessions offensively with a good, solid defense, and then do what we've been doing best, which is score a lot of points in the open court.
Interestingly enough, Puerto Rico's strategy right on schedule, isn't it?
Yeah, Puerto Rico taking an average about 21 seconds to get in their offense. USA only 9 seconds. There we get a score.
So the USA jumped out to a 7-0 lead, and a couple of threes cut it to 7-6. Now it's 11-8. The USA with the advantage. 15:22 to go. Gary Bender and Chuck Daly from the Maple Leaf Gardens. Miller missing there. Shawn Kemp keeps it alive. Kemp inside. The Morning little jump hook. He got it. He's fouled.
Offensive rebounding. Coaches drives him crazy. I said, here it is. Goes inside. Coach Morning makes a great jump hook, but gets the ball almost stripped, still strong enough up and in. But offensive rebounding is such a problem. I said every big game that I was ever involved in, all I said was, don't give a second shot. We'll never lose a game, which is true, but it's a very difficult thing to sell players on.
The foul is on Mincy. Another thing you always used to emphasize is offensive efficiency.
Yeah, I love that term. First of all, it sounds like I'm educated.
Well, you are, Chuck. At least I think you are.
And number 2, it's really an effective way to win basketball games.
So the miss by Mincy that time. Kevin Johnson with Carter trying to reach in on him. Alonso, that is a 2. Showing a little range that time from outside.
He was looking at that line. He had his feet dancing there. Couldn't get his toes back.
Well, he doesn't take a lot of those threes. He's 3 of 3 now for the field, however. 15-8 the United States. So their strategy continues to be somebody burns off 20 seconds of the clock, and then they go into their offense.
It'll be interesting to see if Nelly eventually goes to a situation where he goes to double to try to force the tempo.
Mincy can't hang on. Jerome Mency, who played high school ball in Memphis, Tennessee before going to the UAB. He's been playing in the Spanish, the French leagues. Kevin Johnson, wide open shot. Rebound is clear by Ortiz, and he's going to be fouled by Mourning. Mourning thought he walked or fell backwards. Instead, Alonzo will be called for the foul.
Yeah, he jammed him on the rebound, which is a good play. Not to allow them to run. Let's take a look at it. Off the board, got it clearly. Straightens up and kind of bangs into him, but the call has to be made.
So here's Carter once again. Carter's 27 years old, and he was their leading scorer in the first round of play, averaging over 15.5 points a game.
This is the first time he's tried this side of the floor, and he's going to tire eventually playing this style, handling the ball so much and getting in the lane. Nice dish off, nails the shot, nice strategy. I wouldn't be surprised to see more clubs go to a 1-4 action similar to this. There's Dominic spinning from the left side, follow up by Kemp, miss.
I tell you, the shot by Mency, you got to hit a shot like that a moment ago, and you're set up that well by Carter. You're mentioning Carter. Look at his jersey, Chuck. It's soaking wet already.
It's a very warm building. They tell us in hockey it's even warmer. It's hard to believe.
I can't believe that either with the ice being down. You would think that would change it, but I guess not. So here's Carter again, backing down now with 10 seconds on the shot clock. 13 minutes to go in this first half. Carter trying to take Kevin Johnson inside, out to Mency with 5 seconds, and Mency is living the assist from Carter.
They're getting good shots out of the offense.
8 points for Jerome Mency. Well, you can't knock the strategy thus far. They're only down by 2.
No, the tempo's there.
Mourning ducking inside. They're going to wave this basket off. He was fouled before. In the NBA, that would have been a continuation.
Yeah, it would have been a continuation. There's the dish off. He squares up, has plenty of time, knocks it down.
And Jerome Mency leading them with 8 points. Dominic Wilkins, 34 years of old, he just kicks it out to Kevin. They try to get Reggie open. Continuing in that zone.
They're forcing USA to slow down, move the ball, take time off the clock.
Reggie Miller. He just doesn't need much of an opening, does he?
No, he's such a great shooter. We've seen him develop over the years. He's got to the point where he's going to be truly one of the stars of the league. 9
points for Reggie Miller. Here's Carter again looking up. Now, we mentioned the guy that Carter replaced. That was Vico Lopez, who's a veteran. They'll probably bring him in and let him do this a little bit later.
Yeah, he's a more of a heady player, passer, not quite as quick.
Mourning with the rebound. That's not, I don't think, what Morales had in mind. He'd like to see him penetrate and dish it off.
Yeah, exactly, just to settle for the shot. There's Mourning again for the line knock.
That's a 2 again. He's got to figure out where that line is.
You know what happens when they don't get a lot of minutes during the course of certain games? They get in and they really play their minutes hard and play very, very well because they don't know when they're going to get back in the lineup again, particularly the starting lineup.
Well, Alonzo now 4 of 4 from the field. He's had 2 that were very close to being 3 points. This time, Casanio is going to handle it, give Carter a little bit of a breather. He'll duck inside, and that's a tough shot. Rebound cleared by Mourning.
He's not nearly as effective as Carter, but they have to take the ball out of Carter's hands once in a while.
Kevin is fouled as he ducks inside. So the United States seeing a different style here tonight. They lead by 7 as we take a break. They have one of those advantages right now. We talked about James Carter, what the strategy is. Let's go back and watch it.
Here he is in the lane, forces the big man to step up, kicks it to the baseline, easy, wide open shot, and that's going to be, here's the M&Ms. Here's one of them. Here's Mourning. He's made 2 of these right on the line, just edged his toes over. Really not his shot, but it goes.
Well, those are long toes. It's pretty easy to get over there, right? Alonzo with 8 points, 4 of 4 from the field, 4 rebounds. We talked about Carter a while ago. He has 3 assists. Dominic flashing inside. Ortiz can't handle it. And we're going to have a foul. Ortiz not able to grab it. And then the foul coming from Edgar Leon, who's just checked into the ball game, number 13. This is a guy that really hustles for this ball club. He's a veteran, 30 years old.
You know, they're getting beat on the offense board because of the quickness jumping from the floor. In other words, the quick jumping of Wilkins, Kemp is bothering them, giving up second shots.
Another change for Puerto Rico is Orlando Vega's come in, number 11. There's quite a story on him. We'll develop that as Wilkins with a putback. This is the biggest lead of the ball game now for the United States, 22-13, as we're now at 10:44 to go in the first half.
It's going to be interesting to see if Puerto Rico stays with their style and has the best discipline to do it.
Here is Vega, Orlando Vega. He just served a 2.5-year prison term in Washington, D.C. for some problems with drugs. But what a remarkable comeback. Morales says he's matured, he's a new guy, and that was a pretty flashy move inside.
Yeah, he played in the McDonald's high school team, a great one-on-one player. Reminds me a little bit of Vinnie Johnson, microwave. He can really score. He's got great one. And we saw, look at this baseline move. Squares up, gets to the basket, and draws the foul. He hesitates enough to get the foul, doesn't just let the big guys block the shot.
So this is the new microwave? Is that what you're telling me?
Not quite. He's got to prove it at 007 against Portland in the 7th game.
Here is Vega. You got to really root for a guy like that. What he has gone through. You can see he led the Puerto Rican League in scoring, 26 points a game. He was actually offered a scholarship at the University of Arizona by Lute Olson, then went on to Providence, and then got into all the difficulty. And as Coach Morales put it, he says he's just been a tremendous role model since coming out. Very excited about his progress.
Yeah, he really likes the way he's handling himself and playing, and he can help this club.
They're going to wave that one off as Kevin Johnson fouled as he ducked inside. I'm Gary Bender along with Chuck Daly. This is another quarterfinal game. The United States game number 5, trying to keep pace with Russia in this Group 1 as they're meeting this club from Puerto Rico who lost last night by 16 points to that Russian team. The United States winning here tonight. They hope to move in against Russia in a showdown Friday night that you'll see here on TNT.
Pico Lopez into the game for Carter. And there's Miller again on a 3. If you're going to give it to him, he's going to take it, and he is having some tournament.
He loves that strategy, doesn't he?
He loves what Puerto Rico's doing.
They're playing right into his hands. 25-14. As you mentioned, Lopez, number 5. He's 32 years old. This will be the last major competition he's going to be in. He's a very, very cerebral type player. Not very quick, but he's a good half-court guy.
He's going to have difficulty beating him off the dribble as Carter did. I think they're going to have to go to Vega a little bit more.
Vega had a little trouble. The shot clock expiring as he almost lost it. Reggie Miller right now is just headed for a huge night. He had a big one last night. He had 31 points last night. Missed only 1 field goal attempt. 5 of 6 from three-point land.
Not forcing a shot, getting it inside. Miller again from the corner. Oh, he can't miss. He cannot miss.
Now, if you're Morales and you see him shoot like this, I mean, you just keep hanging in there with what you're doing?
Well, it's his own defense. They may have to change and play straight up, play more man. They're just giving too many open shots, but Kevin's really working at finding him in the open floor or in the open spaces in the zone.
15 points now for Reggie Miller. There is Lopez being forced out. They extended the defense, and he threw it away. Shot, Kemp on the move.
Mr. Highlight.
He has had some moments here where the crowd just kind of holds your breath when he makes these moves.
He's an exciting player.
And we're going to have a foul on Ortiz as he knocked down Alonzo Mourning. That's not easy to do. Go back to this by Shawn Kemp.
How about this move? Ooh. Glad you're not standing under there. You would be pulverized. They're really struggling offensive up in Puerto Rico because they lost Carter. They're going to have to go to a team offense in order to stay with this lineup.
Dominic Wilkins also enjoying this strategy as he nails a 3 from outside. Now it's 33-14.
Talk about offensive efficiency. When you make shots like they're shooting, between Wilkins, between Mourning, and between Miller. Wow.
Here's Lopez again. Now he's going to get it down to 10 seconds. Here it is at 10. Inside 8 minutes to go in the first half. Ortiz has been very quiet.
With a style
reach in, Mourning committing the foul.
Yeah, with this style of play, they can't get the ball to Ortiz.
That's going to be the 3rd foul on Alonzo Mourning. We'll be back.
Dream Team 2 is back in action Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern on TNT.
I want a computer that really flies.
15 of the 33 points. 5 of 7 on threes.
You talk about being in zone. Look at him square up, brings that right toe in. Look at his hands following through. Some shooter. Classic, really. Here's another one from the corner. The shot is exactly the same every time.
Well, we're just checking Puerto Rico. You look what Reggie did last night. Are they going to bring Carter back in? He's not back in. And without Carter, I don't know how they can work the strategy.
It's absolutely, they cannot. They've got to go team offense. They've got to get their inside people a little bit more involved. But right now, Ortiz is just standing around, not part of the offense. So they'll have to adjust and change if they want to be effective or try to get back into this.
And Ortiz, a very good scorer. He's the guy who runs the floor so well, so he's just been taken out of his game. He's taken only one shot tonight.
Looks to me like they're going to go to a little bit more of a team offense right here. Now they're going to try to go inside.
Edgar Leon. Out it comes Orlando Vega. They're down to 13 seconds on the shot clock. We didn't even talk about the shot clock last night, did we? No. Baseline, Leon, and he's fouled by Sean Kemp. Well, let's look ahead. We hope you'll stay with TNT for more World Championship basketball. Dream Team 2 will be back on Friday, 9 o'clock Eastern, as they'll take on this young Russian team. And then on Saturday, we'll have our final game with Toronto's. USA will face the second-place finisher in Pool 2. And that's from the Sky Dome, the home of the defending world champion Toronto Blue Jays.
Russian team is a very sound team, well coached. They box out well. They've got nice size. They're very young, however, and I don't think deep enough. I don't think they're effective enough to upset the Dream Team, but they should play them reasonably well. They're going to be better in 2 years.
I'll tell you who impressed me tonight was Croatia and their win over Canada.
Yeah, me too. I like their club. He finally missed a roar from the crowd.
Here's Sean Kemp. Good energy. Sean Kemp just playing with so much enthusiasm.
He's so agile in the lane. Great moves. Impossible to stop him getting a shot off.
15-1 run now by the United States, and some of that began when Carter went out of the lineup. Here's Lopez trying to shake Kevin Johnson. Mark Price getting ready to come into the ball game for the USA. The Americans Shaq as well. That's a high rainbow shot. Ortiz says, "You're not going to get it to me inside. I'll go outside."
Out of his range normally, but Dominic Wilkins gambled defensively and gave the shot. There's Kevin.
Derek penetrating. Checked into the ball game. Here's Wilkins getting it at 3 just a moment ago from there, and he duplicates the feat. 10 points for Dominic, so he has 10. Miller with a total of 15.
This is where, as a coach, you really have to be ready to change gears. You make a decision that this is the way we're going to play. But I think you have to have your club prepared to move another direction and do things that you did all year.
Well, that happened last night, Chuck. Australia never made a change.
Yeah, that's kind of the mentality of international teams. They're reluctant to make change. They stay with something, they play their way, and don't make the change.
Well, they may not be capable of making changes, too. Reggie Miller again. If he plays very many minutes tonight, it's going to be a monster night for him. They may not need him. They may just rest him up for Friday the way he's going. 41-19 now.
USA gambling a little bit more.
You know, if you're watching back in Puerto Rico, I would think the fans would be screaming right now, say, come on, let's just go out and play them. I mean, at least come after them. At least Australia did that last night.
Yeah, that's the risk you take. There's a nice play.
Yes, it was. Vega, but they all can't finish.
No, they get intimidated. They just throw the shot up.
I can't understand why they get intimidated.
I don't either.
But some of the shot blocking has just been sensational. Kemp was pulled down by Leon. Leon did it very subtly, and now we're going to get to see Mark Price come into the ball game for the first time. No, they're going to call it on Kemp. I stand corrected on that.
Yeah, I thought you were right.
That'll be 3 on Kemp. So Kemp with 3. Alonzo Mourning with 3. I'll tell you what, Leon was really subtle with that little pull down, wasn't he?
It wasn't so subtle if we saw it.
Let's see if we can pick it up on the replay here. Now watch it.
Yeah, he's got him hooked with his left, pulling him right down, and he gets the call. Pretty good.
Yeah, that was very well done. I don't know where he learned that move, but he better keep it in his repertoire.
Carter's back in.
Well, Carter was the guy that got him started in the right direction. Boy, they missed him. Casanio, number 14, now handling the bar. Carter is number 9. So Shaquille is in for the first time. Mark Price is in. Still Miller, Derek Coleman, and Dominique Wilkins. Down to 10 seconds on the shot clock. Here they go.
You know, I think if you're going to play this style, you don't always have to do it with just a point guard. You could do it maybe with a small forward who might be able to beat a player.
That was a prayer that time. He just threw it up, but they get a Price 30 on the shot clock. And here's the guy that's done a good job handling it, Carter. James Carter. He's the leader. Dan Marley getting ready. You can hear the crowd now starting to boo. They don't like this style. I don't blame them. And it goes to Leon, to Ortiz, and too many seconds in the lane. 3 seconds in the lane.
It wouldn't have mattered.
3-second violation, USA ball.
Morales standing over there with his arms folded, like he says, we're not going to change. We're just going to stay this way.
We're going with it.
41-19. There's Reggie again. This is a shooting clinic. An absolute shooting clinic right now. These are the kind of games that shooters dream about.
Yeah, well, I give him the open shot. You can't give him those kind of shots. Although we talked about it earlier, his decision was to take away the inside game, but he's getting absolutely murdered from the outside, particularly by Miller. Don Nelson normally would substitute, but he's going to leave Miller in.
He's 7 of 10 now. He has 21 points. Ortiz trying to duplicate the 3. Mark Price might have gotten away with the travel there. Off it comes to Shaquille.
He's even got the American guys excited, and they have to play against him.
And we're going to have a timeout as we look at this slam by Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaquille knows where to go. Price knows who to get it to and where to get it to him.
Again, Shaquille showing the good hands that time. 46-19.
Hey, I'm talking to you. What is technology but the brain demanding more from the body? More than what was done. More than what is thought possible. Put the beyond within reach. Here's where. Strangely scientific.
Oh, the boss. Meet Larry. He's new.
Here's coach's defensive philosophy. Take away the inside, leave the outside open, and now we're going to see Price bring the ball down court and make the quick pass to Reggie Miller. And here's a guy who's on fire. You can't do it to a shooter of his caliber.
Well, I guess not, Chuck. He's 7 of 10. The team is 9 of 14. They're shooting 64% for three-point land. And Miller comes up with it. Dan Marley's checked in. Price and Marley couldn't wait to get into the game after they saw what Miller was having out here.
It is so open for three-point shooters tonight that they're going to have a...
Morales is working the official over. I don't know what he's so upset about, but he is really working.
I don't know either. I don't know what he's so upset about.
He's upset all the shots are going in. I can understand that, but I don't know what the point of contention is.
Maybe he's got to look like he's coaching. I guess I don't know when things aren't going well. We've all been there who've been in that business.
Here's Carter. Marley jumps out on him as the shot clock expires. I tell you, Marley, you made a good point about Marley. As this tournament wears on, he's going to be more and more of a defensive stopper.
I think if they get to Croatia in the finals, which I think it will probably happen, he's the guy they'll probably end up playing Kukoc, because they're going to have to have someone who can take him defensively and not allow him to get in the lane.
Now, did they call a foul on that, or are they going to? They're going to have a jump ball. I guess they felt the shot clock expiring. I'm not sure why they are jumping the ball. Still continuing to work the official.
Yeah, I thought that they were going to give him a foul shot, but then they didn't. They brought the ball back.
And jumped it up. And with the ball now, Puerto Rico. And it comes to Leon. Leon continuing to work hard inside, intimidated by Shaq.
Yeah, his size and range. And look at him run that lane, getting right to the box. There's a pass of Coleman. A little off target.
Able to bat it away. 21 seconds on the shot clock. You know, people don't realize how good a passer Derek Coleman is.
He is a great passer, particularly for his size, and he really sees the floor. Price again for 3.
It's just a different number doing it now. I mean, any one of these 3 guys, Marley, Price, or Miller, can just absolutely bury you.
Well, Don Nelson's looking at what they're doing and saying, okay, if they want to give it to us, we'll put 3-point shooters in there and take them all night long.
52-19. Leon gets it off. Out it comes now to Mincy, and he just threw one up. He didn't have a lot of resolve on that one. Ortiz is out of the ball game right now. He picked up his 3rd foul before that last time out. Price misses one. That's kind of an upset. Mark's going to have to go back and recalibrate his shots now.
Or else we'll replace him in the lineup where somebody can make him.
Here's Carter. I like Carter. Carter has shown me some good basketball savvy. Well, it's a long time they set on 19.
There's your transition. Quickly up the side court to Marley. He's got the 3-point shot, or O'Neal, who's running the lane, getting great post-up position, almost impossible to stop.
So they go right back to the strategy again. 1:28 in this fast-moving first half, and the United States shooting so effectively. There's a nice foul tip by Leon. He works hard in there.
Yeah, well, Carter helps him offensively. Gets in the lane, creates something. Here's Miller again. No.
Number 8.
Is there some kind of an international record?
8 of 11. Well, I've done a lot of basketball, but I don't think I've watched a game quite like this. Have you?
No, I haven't. And Don is normally he'd be substituting for him, but not tonight.
Why should he? Just
yeah, really.
There. I mean, they're absolutely burying him. Why would you change anything now? 10 seconds on the shot clock again. There's Leon. And a nice pass. That'll be goaltending against Reggie Miller. Miller's been watching Shaq and those guys too much.
You're right. Now he wants more pressure. Coach Morales is asking for more pressure. Wants to go down court and get him a little bit. He's staying with the 2-3 zone, though.
57-25. Now they're going to take the last shot of the half. I don't know what the crowd's so upset about. I mean, this is what you got to do.
It's very sound basketball, particularly when you're leading 57-25. Exactly what they want, another 3.
So Marley nails a 3. He gets into this onslaught. He was 6 of 14 from 3-point land coming into tonight. We'll be back.
Just down Sunset and up the incredible California.
Donald's halftime report. World Championship update of today's scores and highlights, as well as the current pool standings. And we'll have a feature on the fanatic fans of Greece and Croatia. And a look at the NBA's newest franchise, the Toronto Raptors. Of course, Isaiah Thomas will be a vice president of basketball operations with that, as well as first half highlights and stats. Coming up, the McDonald's halftime report.
Now a little pressure out of the timeout. Double teaming. They come up with a steal.
Out of comes Miller. This is only a 2.
I'm surprised you didn't go to the 3-point line. I can't believe it.
Well, that breaks the string of all those threes. And what a first half. 26 points. 8 of 11 from 3-point land. This is a dream for him. I mean, it's an absolute setup for him.
And a nightmare for Puerto Rico.
That's right.
A coach makes a decision on the philosophy, stays with it, and I don't know now what you tell your players. That's one of the problems when you make that decision. You're wrong, and then your players say, well, you made the decision. That's why if you can incorporate them in the decision-making process, it makes it a little bit easier.
Be interested to see if he does change, though, at halftime. 62-25. The United States with this huge lead. To Nozov, who had 15 points and 8 rebounds, and again, Russia winning that ball game 103-76. They remain unbeaten, and they will square off against the United States on Friday. We have a game going on right now at Copps Coliseum over in Hamilton, and Greece, who's been a surprise in this tournament, leading China in the third, should say the start of the second half, 21-20, and this Greece team will be looking at their fanatical fans through the course of this afternoon. Let's take a look now at the standings. In Group 1, Russia earlier the win, 2-0. The United States trying to keep pace. Puerto Rico in real trouble. They're going to go 0-2, and Australia losing again tonight. They are now 0-2. Pool 2. And Croatia, the team that expected to come out of that and eventually end up in the game, in the battle for the gold. They're 2-0. Greece 1-0. China 0-1. And Canada, very disappointing loss, 0-2. Well, we talked about the fans of Greece and Croatia. It's really been something to watch them, waving their flags after a victory out on the streets, what they do in the course of a ball game. They love their teams. Let's take a look at these two countries and how they love their team. Toronto is known for its diverse ethnic mix, a true melting pot of international cultures. And while the World Championship has captivated the Canadian people, basketball fans of two nations in particular have distinguished themselves as the most vocal of the tournament. Fans of the Greek national team eagerly show their support, confident that their presence makes a difference.
I believe that if the crowd is more louder, helps the team to go better.
Our sixth player support us, give us energy, and you have seen our success.
Well, it's like the sixth player of the team, and the players mentioned that, and they're very satisfied with the Greek community in Toronto. It's like if they're playing at home.
We feel like that we play in our home, in Athens especially. I think they believe on us, and we believe on their support to come together to go to the finals.
But in order for Greece to advance, they must first get past Croatia, whose fans have been assured that their patriotic showing is appreciated.
I talked to Tony Kukoc. He said that he was really happy to see all the flags.
It's really nice from the Croatian people here at Toronto coming to support us, and they are our sixth players. Every game, like 7,000-8,000 Croatian fans.
And as Croatia seeks to defend their world championship, their players marvel at the magnitude of their countrymen's enthusiasm.
It's great when you come on the court and you see 10,000 flags outside, and you just look up and you see, oh God, I can't believe this.
Well, coming up in our McDonald's Halftime Report, we'll take a look at the new franchise in the NBA, the Toronto Raptors. Isaiah Thomas involved with that new club. They're excited about their new team. Will begin play a season from now. Franchise in the NBA will be the Toronto Raptors, and kind of an interesting history and background here in basketball. Let's go back and document some of the history of this town in Ontario. The city of Toronto is long known for its cultural and ethnic diversity. Although not regarded as a basketball mecca, the city is rich in basketball tradition. Dr. James Naismith, basketball's inventor, was born and spent his formative years in Canada. In fact, the very first NBA game took place in Toronto in 1946, and New York's Ozzie Sheckman scored the first basket in league history.
Toronto was in the league at that time, and due to a hockey game, we were scheduled to open on November 1st, which is the day before the rest of the league opened. And lo and behold, I scored the first 2 points.
This picturesque metropolis in eastern Canada has already enjoyed success with hockey's Maple Leafs and baseball's Blue Jays. Now they'll get a taste of NBA basketball.
I'm very happy and proud to announce that Toronto will become a member of the NBA for the 1995-96 season.
Toronto's fans will be treated to high-flying NBA action. It has made basketball the world's fastest-growing sport.
It's good for the city. You know, it's good for the tourism, and basketball's a great sport. It's the only one I like.
I like basketball more than baseball or hockey.
The next step was to give the NBA's 28th franchise a nickname.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Raptors are born. My guy.
I
I'm one of those diehard fans who's waited as long as everyone else to get NBA basketball in Toronto. So this is a great moment for Canadians, Ontarians, and Torontonians.
Raptor Mania took control of the city.
Good. It's sort of like the Panthers, Sharks, Spiders. It'll be good. Scary opponents away.
NBA in Toronto is #1.
Whether we're in Roppongi or whether we're walking down the Champs-Élysées, anything, you'll be seeing Raptor gear everywhere.
The man who'll be in charge of guiding the Raptors into the 21st century will be two-time NBA champion Isaiah Thomas.
Our goal is to win a championship. When will we become competitive? Hopefully, possibly in the 6th or 7th year. In the interim, we're going to grow. We'll add players steadily. And that's where I think the vision of this franchise is, and that's the thing that I hopefully can supply to it.
Well, the guy that was reveling in some of that was going on, the champagne being thrown around, was Chuck Daly when you won those 2 NBA championships. What's your thought about the NBA coming to Canada?
Well, I always thought this would be the ideal city to bring it internationally. It's one of the great cities in North America. It's Chicago North. It's and very, very clean. It's a terrific city, and they've adopted all of their sports. They really get into it, and I think it'll be a gold mine, and particularly with Isaiah involved. Isaiah, I've never seen him so excited in a long time. We were talking to him prior to the game. Very excited about what he's doing.
He came over, he says, I'm dressing like Chuck Daly. I want to be an executive like Chuck Daly. You're his hero.
Yeah, he said, I never thought I would do that. Now I'm just like him.
Okay, we're going to be back with the start of the second half. We'll see if Puerto Rico stays with the strategy they had in the first half. Right now, they're down 62-25.
Today's halftime report has been brought to you by McDonald's, proud sponsor of USA Basketball.
I had everybody come in on Saturday, and guess what?
32-12 in the last 10 minutes of the first half, and enjoy this 62-25 lead. You think Coach Morales has made some adjustments here at halftime?
We don't know. I think he ought to. I think he just change up and go play at this point. I don't think he can stay with the same philosophy. He's got to make changes. And, you know, it's not a bad idea, but it just didn't work. And they'll have to go back to the drawing board the next time they play this kind of club. They've got to come away with some kind of balance.
We're going to show you some statistics, very unusual statistics. Look at this, 68%, 13 of 19 from three-point land.
It's just too close for the NBA. They will annihilate all of these records if they continue to play against this kind of a...
Well, of those 13 threes, 8 by Reggie Miller. We're going to go back and watch this guy from the Indiana Pacers operate from outside.
He's going to end up getting a commercial out of this for doing something.
You don't see very many guys come up with 8 threes and a half. He came into tonight 13 of 24 from three-point land, so he'd been shooting well. Last night was 5 of 6.
He just has too much time. If you're going to give him that kind of time, he's going to shoot well into the 60s.
But you said it. This is a nightmare for Puerto Rico.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see very quickly if they change their philosophy. Their players look very demoralized at this point.
And one of the reasons is Dominic Wilkins, who slices inside and starts it. You remember that jump ball we had that we were confused about a while ago? We checked with the officials. They weren't sure if there was a 30-second shot violation, so as an end result, they called for a jump ball. So indecision led to that jump ball we were trying to figure out earlier in the first half.
Yeah, I think he's changed the play. It looks like he's gone to the passing game. We'll see very quickly. There's Reggie Miller again.
A little floating shot, and he draws the foul. And that is Voorhees who commits the foul. Dean Voorhees. He's 6'7". He was out of Wagner College. He was the #1 prospect in the country. Went then to play at Wagner. Was the #2 scorer in college, only behind Hersey Hawkins. And then he really had a severe knee injury that slowed him down.
Yeah, it looks to me like Don Nelson's gone to some kind of philosophy where he sits out some of his people on a given night. I don't believe we've seen Joe Dumars tonight, for one, nor Steve Smith. So obviously he's not going to be concerned about getting all 12 guys into the lineup. Instead, elects just to set out some people unless it goes down to the end and plays them like the last 7 minutes.
I asked him for the game. I said, are you having somebody keep track of the minutes? He said he is. And you did the same thing with Dream Team 1.
No, you know, the truth of the matter, we really didn't. We thought about it, but I never kept track of the minutes. It was almost by feel. But as I said, we replaced at the actual position, which became much easier. Quarter, 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 quarter.
Kevin Johnson able to get that one away from Jerome Mency. Very quickly to Sean Kemp. A transition defense, not there.
Yeah, they come and see too many guys have their backs turned, their head turned, and they're not giving. And somebody's got to get in front of the ball. First of all, you got to try to get the ball under control. Then you've got to take away those passes into the lane, then spread out to the defense. They're just not doing it.
What you do a lot of times when you're slowing the ball down offensively, you don't get back on defense. It's changed your whole tempo, your whole thinking. Here's Carter. Now, Carter started them right. They were playing pretty well there for a while. They were trailing only 20-13, and then all of a sudden a 13-1 run by the USA, and it's been tough since.
They're going to the passing game. They're getting some pretty good shots now and getting some second shots. Haven't converted, but they're playing better offensively right now.
Mency obviously intimidated, and Wilkins at the other end. Dominic with another slam. He's having a strong game, 14 points.
Big game for Dominic. He didn't play much last night, and that's why I think they've got a basic philosophy about who's playing what on a given night. It really doesn't matter. Trust me.
But one thing, Chuck, that Don Nelson did tell me tonight, he says, when we get into the tougher competition, I'm going to probably play at best 10 people.
Yeah, well, I don't know where that tougher competition is going to come from. I mean, we've got Russia and maybe Croatia, but, you know, he'll be playing a lot of people in the last couple of games. All of these people are such great players. You start saying, well, maybe this guy's slightly better than the other guy, but then the other guy plays and he has a big night.
Well, the thing that jumped out at me tonight was watching Croatia, then watching Puerto Rico come on the floor. So much difference in size.
Yeah, they are not a big club, and that's a problem.
Foul number 11.
So that foul is going to go on Kevin Johnson. As that's his second foul. Carter outside, Kemp with the rebound. They get one shot, and that's it.
Yeah, they're not offensively efficient at all, and it's making it very difficult to stay in the game.
Alonso playing with 3 fouls, tries to power to the hole, and Mency commits a foul. Look at who is scoring what. Miller, now the leading scorer. He passed Shaquille with that 31-point outburst last night. So you have 3 guys in double figures, 2 of them just under that, and Price and Mourning, along with Wilkins.
You know, interestingly enough, O'Neal has played so little in both of the games that we've seen here, and even earlier in the weekend, I think he's only started 1 game, and consequently, he's up one of the leading scorers. You can imagine if he played his 30 minutes, what he would be capable of doing.
Well, he didn't even play in the second half last night.
Exactly. Played, I think, 7 or 8 minutes in the first half, and that was the extent of his play.
I went into the locker room before the game, and he was doing a little rap. He was on Reggie Miller's case pretty good. He'd started out a new set of lyrics. I wasn't sure what was being said or how it was being said, but they were all having a great time.
I felt in the Dream Team one, there were some real bonds that were put together, and guys that normally you wouldn't expect to be together. And Ewing became a very interesting team. They had a lot of fun together.
Eddie Cassiano hitting that 3 as they're now 6 of 17 from three-point land. Kevin inside, penetrating. Great pass. 76-33, 17 minutes to go. The United States trying to pull even with Russia in Group 1, moving their record to 2-0. And that's who they'll meet Friday night right here on TNT beginning at 9 o'clock Eastern. Ortiz tries to pass inside. Good help defense that time.
Yeah, he had a great idea. He had the cutter. He just couldn't get the ball to him. But the reaction defensively, hand in the passing lane, deflecting the ball.
So Puerto Rico, who through the years has had a very good basketball tradition, but winning their first gold. You see Greece now leading China 35-28. Imagine those Greece fans over there. Are they something?
Now, you were talking about you were so fortunate not having to call that game.
All those names?
You could pronounce both names. The Greek names seem to really slow you up a little bit.
I don't have any Greek ancestry. That's my problem.
The original coach was a 15-letter job. We still haven't figured it out.
I think we ought to font that one up. We ought to put the graphic up and show the original coach.
Let the whole USA decide if they can pronounce it.
That's right. It's 15 letters long. Isn't that what we decided?
Yeah, it was.
76-33. 39-35, 16 minutes to go. Dominic is deadly tonight. Everything he's put up. And he now has a total of 17 points in the ball game. Dominic tonight is 2 of 4 from three-point land, make it 3 of 5 from three-point land. And Wilkins reaching across, batting it out of bounds. We've got a timeout. 79-35, the USA. Head coach of Utah, and Pete Gillen to the other side, Don Chaney. Don Chaney, of course, the head coach of the Pistons, just finished his first year. He was a 5-year teammate. Don Nelson to the Boston Celtics. Coach formerly with the Houston Rockets. He was the 91 NBA coach here. Pete Gillen's a new coach at Providence after spending 9 years at Xavier.
Yeah, it looked like he was never going to leave. He's a terrific coach, done a great job. Used to be Digger's assistant at Notre Dame. Worked his way up through the ranks and is a terrific coach.
Talk a little bit more about that. We'll talk about your assistants you had on Dream Team 1 a little bit. Sanio trying with 8 seconds on the shot clock to shake Kevin. Nice jump stop. Comes inside, and we're going to have a foul. The other guy we want to also direct your attention to is Rick Majerus. Now, he coached 1 year with Nelly in Milwaukee. He was the Bucks. This guy also is an assistant with Al McGuire when they won the NCAA championship in '77.
Exactly. He's had a little heart problem, but he seems to have recovered well.
Coaching now at Utah. He was a WAC Coach of the Year in '93.
I think Don is looks very slim. I understand he went to Pritikin again after the season. I think all his coaches need to do that. But I think he got ready for this.
Now, tell me about your assistants that you had on Dream Team 1.
Well, I had one of the great staffs ever. Of course, Lenny Wilkins, the terrific coach of the Atlanta Hawks, been around, won a championship, an all-star player in his day. Great demeanor. P.J. Carlesimo, the new head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers, was at Seton Hall. A fun guy, did a lot of our scouting, and really related to the guys. And then, of course, Mike Krzyzewski, what can you say, one of the more brilliant coaches we've ever produced in this country.
Morning hits the shot. He picked up his 4th foul a while ago. You know, Morales, the coach of Puerto Rico, goes to Duke every summer and visits with Krzyzewski.
Yeah, they go up there and visit, watch them practice. A lot of clubs do that. We, over the years, I've done the same thing. When I was a collegiate coach particularly, you get different ideas. I understand he goes over and watches Deans also. As Morning comes across the lane, not happy with just scoring, he also wanted the free throw.
You think he'll call Coach K after this, say, what did you think of my strategy here tonight?
Yeah, they'll have some conversation about that. But, you know, there's nothing wrong. You make a decision, you live with it, and you go on and say, hey.
Morning scoring 2 quick baskets now. It's 14 points. Casanio will hit. And there's the guy who they think is the most natural player, Casanio, as Morales is probably looking up at that clock saying, you sure they haven't put some time back on the clock?
When you're in this situation, all you want to do is get out of the building.
Alive, right?
Yeah. It's too late for that.
His body count starting right now.
You're already fried.
Yeah.
More ways than one. The press has got you. The owner's got you if you got an owner.
Even your wife won't speak to you, right?
That's for sure. That's normal.
Okay, Alonzo Mourning showing a nice pass to Kevin Johnson. The ball deflected. And no look pass from Steve Smith. So Smith and Larry Johnson making their first appearances tonight. 16 points.
It gets difficult when the score gets to be, this margin's so great. Players, and they come into the game, haven't been involved in it for interest's sake. But they've got to force themselves in. This is the time you can get hurt if you don't pay attention to your game.
Well, the United States winning by 56 last night, and they may be headed for as big a night here tonight. They might get that average that you had with Dream Team 1 yet, the way this is going, the 43.8.
Well, they've got 2 games left. Those might be a little more competitive. They've got a shot at it.
Substitutions now. Shaquille O'Neal coming in with Mark Price. Let's go back to the dunk by Alonzo Mourning. Mourning's really shown a lot of different things to his game here tonight.
He loves that. He loves that. He thinks that's going to be on MTV. That's why he wants a rap record.
Oh, look at this. Casanio is coming over there and pushing Alonzo. I think he better pick on somebody else.
He's upset about the fact that he feels like he's taunting their club and showing them up.
So Alonzo's going to leave now. He'll sit down. Very strong performance in this ball game. 16 points, 4 fouls. inside intended for Shaquille. They batted away. 26 seconds on the shot clock.
Imagine if you're over there sitting on the bench. You look at the score, 85-44, and here it comes Shaq. Oh, coach's nightmare.
There's Shaq. Every time he does that slam dunk, I'm thinking to myself, please don't tear that basket down.
It would be a long night replacing these. It isn't bad if he just takes off the backboard, but he usually takes down the whole equipment.
Tries to go inside. Shaquille rejects it. You can't get away with that move. Here is Wilkins. Dominic, very resourceful gamer tonight. Steve Smith bats it out of bounds. Cassiano and Alonzo Mourning. What led to this, I understand, is that Wilkins got poked in the eye, so Alonzo went over and started a discussion, and that's what ensued.
I see. He walks away at that point.
Fortunately for San Diego, he did. You got to pick your spots, and that's not the place, right? 89-44. There's the rainbow shot. San Diego a little bit frustrated right now. He's off to Wilkins, and nice finish by Dominic.
What great control. We've talked about it before. One of the great finishers in the history of the game. You get him out on the wing on the break, he is going to do it right either side.
21 points for Neek.
Watch the body control. Still in the air. Lane getting it up and under. Great pass by Price. You can't prepare for this club and what you see in USA basketball. We talked to Coach Morales this morning, and he got kind of feisty and kind of hot about it, saying we're going to really fight him. But until you sit there and have to go through it, it's the worst possible nightmare.
Well, you asked him some very poignant questions about how they're going to play the pick and roll. And, he had some answers, but he didn't realize maybe how good this team is. You know, you're right. You got to come here and see them in person.
You know, he didn't play zone. He didn't have to try to defend it. Bad decision with Miller.
So now Puerto Rico will get it back with 12:02 left to go in the ball game.
You know, when you're putting together a club like Dream Team 1, Dream Team 2, we had to do exactly the same. You've got to prepare for zones, and you've got to have those kind of shooters. And we always had them ready to insert when they went to the zone. The Mullins, the Birds, the Millers, the Marleys, all of these kinds of people.
So Ortiz taking some frustration out there. He has 5 points. Shaquille at the other end. And it'll be off for Puerto Rico as Dan Marley now will come in for Dream Team 2. We're going to go away for a moment. 11:37 left to go. Toronto, Canada, the 28th team in the NBA, and the Gorilla coming all the way from Phoenix to help them celebrate as they have the World Championship of Basketball. The USA with a 92-49 lead, and guess what? Another three, this time Steve Smith.
They can all do it.
They can all do it is exactly right. Now into the ball game, they have a total of 16 threes out of 22 attempts. Mark Price to Marley to the tree.
How about a guy of 300-plus pounds running the lane like that, catching the ball on the move? What a future. Or is the future now?
I think the future's here. Oh, nice little jump hook that time by Felix Perez. He's a 23-year-old who they think could be the next Jose Ortiz. Smith again. And traced down by Larry Johnson. 10:41 left in this game. Inside it goes Shaquille. Leon had a hand on it. It'll be off of Leon. They'll have it with 22 seconds on the shot clock.
It'll be interesting to watch O'Neal's progress. They got into the playoffs this year, and surprisingly were eliminated by Indiana, very easily eliminated. A little bit of a surprise. It'll be interesting to see how they fare next year with that club, and if they in fact can move on and move up the ladder.
Well, what about the addition of Horace Grant?
Well, that'll make a major improvement. They've needed that power forward, and it'll really help them.
It makes like the final piece, doesn't it?
Yeah, look, it makes them one of the favorites in the East.
Orlando Vega, that's goaltending on Steve Smith.
Goaltending the basket for Orlando
97-53. 10-10 left to go in this one. So they have Marley, Mark Price, Larry Johnson, Steve Smith, and Shaq in the game right now. Shaq trying to be elusive inside against Felix Lopez at 6'10", and now Vega upset. I don't know what he's upset about, and he's staring Shaquille at a chest level. And now Larry Johnson's over talking to Vega.
Easy, easy. We don't want an international incident right here. O'Neal is kind of oblivious to it all.
You know, if you think about that play, Shaquille actually didn't cause anything with Vega. Vega came on the tail end of this.
No, here he goes on his spin. Oh, he did throw an elbow on the right side. He came up, fouled it. Yeah, came over the top. There was very little contact. But there's no reason really to be upset. Here it is again. O'Neal hooked him pretty good with his right elbow, but that wasn't Vega.
No, maybe the other guy. He had Leon with the hook. But
in the meantime, we had another 3.
Yes. They continue the onslaught, 100 to 53. United States came in here tonight. The average margin of victory, 37 points. What's this? Look out!
Coast to coast.
And at the other end,
you know, the same things happened tonight that happened last night. The last 10 minutes became the most entertaining part. The crowd's on fire.
I remember during the McDonald's All-American game when Shaquille came out of high school, he did that same thing, and it brought back so many memories. Watch this again.
Here we go. Crosses over, gets over the half court, stumbles a little bit. Now he opens it up. He's going to go all the way. He's not looking for anybody. He wanted to prove that he could do it.
The biggest point guard in the history of the NBA, right? 103 to 55. Marley with the 3. Incredible, too.
You know, all of these guys would have loved to have a couple of those in the playoffs left.
Oh, yeah.
Just one more here and there would have made the difference.
Dan really hit a slump in the playoffs. That's backcourt against Lopez and Puerto Rico. The United States now 17 of 26 from three-point land.
You better play them on the three-point line. I think that's been determined.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Marley's 3 of 3. Price 2 of 5. In the game right now, and of course you know what Reggie Miller did. He just
but here's the other problem. They just go inside, and there's no defense for a guy like Shaquille.
Well, and Ortiz, their big center's been in foul trouble, so they don't have anybody close who can guard him.
I think the defensive velocity has to be somewhere in between. You've got to be ready to play the inside, giving up 2s rather than so many 3s. The way the USA team shoots 3s, you just can't give up that many, because then you can't even keep the game close.
8:58 to go. Morales is 36 years old, but he may have aged about another 30 years tonight. The bench is really
they know what's happening.
That was the coast-to-coast move by Shaquille that Reggie was getting all excited about. Don Nelson couldn't keep from grinning on that one.
Imagine he's going to have to go back to a very good Golden State team, but it isn't quite like this club.
And there's the push-off by Steve Smith. Don said tomorrow they'll do a lot of shooting, but a very light workout with a day off before they play Russia on Friday.
I think basically their workouts are over. We only had one shoot-around. We did not practice in Barcelona. We always met at 8:30, had a meeting, and went and played. I just felt it was too hot. It wasn't really necessary. So we only had the one shoot-around with no practices.
Well, they took a day off on Monday. Some thought that they had some tired legs after the game Sunday. Look at this bench. These guys, they really, you're right, they just grow together, don't they?
They do. They start having more and more fun, and they bond together. Then they don't worry so much about time. They don't worry about who's getting the shots.
Vega's fouled by Marley. Dan Marley didn't think he was guilty of that move, and he'll pick up the foul.
Vega's a little upset, and he's kind of taking on the challenge.
Yeah, I'd start at the other end with Shaquille, and here's a guy who's battled back from so much, and there's some talk that he's going to have a tryout with the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yeah, I saw Jack McCluskey outside in the hall. I didn't ask him about it, but I do understand that he will be going to their training camp.
High school All-American. out of the New York City area. They're going to award him another free throw. Evidently, they got there before the ball was off the cylinder.
It's really easier in this kind of competition because it's easy to step in because of the angle. You got to really pay attention to the guy, particularly outside people.
Right quickly, the rebound is pulled down by Ruben Colon. First time we've seen him in the ball game, a 22-year-old. Vega outside.
He's going to take as he goes looking at the bench. He's looking at the USA bench.
I tell you, when you're down 107 to 59, I don't think I would say it off of that, would you? Here's Marley with 19 seconds. Vega talking to him. Vega, look at him. Vega's yelling at Marley. And here's O'Neal. Marley's trying to ignore him, and now Vega's talking to the bench over there.
They better be careful. They'll bring Judo Dumars in defensively and shut him down.
And there's Felix Perez again, the guy that I think has tremendous potential. And it comes to Shaq. Powers inside. What you've got is Felix Perez. They list him at 6'10", and he is just dwarfed by Shaquille.
Yeah, he dwarfs everybody I know in the business. He is such a tough guy to officiate and play against.
The road to the World Championship, brought to you by Coca-Cola. Always jamming, always Coca-Cola.
Well, 16 teams started this road, the quest for gold. It's now down to groups 1 and 2, the United States in group number 1, and they're playing for 1st through 8th. And then the classification round, groups 3 and 4 playing for 9th through 16th place. Top 2 finishers in each group moving ahead. The United States unbeaten at 4-0 in the entire competition, and going to 5-0 as we have a 108 to 61 ball game.
Almost every time Shaquille catches it, there's one of the great players of all time, Oscar Robertson, enjoying what he's seeing.
The one thing I remember about Oscar in the days that he played, especially with that 71 title team of Milwaukee, is how strong he was. He'd start pounding that ball outside, and you couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, as a point guard, he was kind of unique and classic in his own way. Not what we think of as point guard today, but very effective because he controlled the game from the point guard spot, backing people down.
Shaquille O'Neal now with 16 points. The Big O, Oscar Robertson. Shot from outside. Borges and Shaquille with a little authority with that rebound. And he's the other end, was going to get a return pass, it looked like, for another dunk.
Shaquille commented earlier, he's getting a lot of free throws. Every time he catches the ball, he's getting fouled. And that's been one of his Achilles heels, where he's had a little bit of a problem, something he's going to work on and get better at it, because it's going to become crucial in major playoff games.
He hit both these free throws last night. And the move inside, not there. Shaquille with the rebound. USA has 3 turnovers in this ball game. Puerto Rico with 11.
They got a couple guys that want the box down there. Larry Johnson wants it.
Steve Smith. Beautiful.
Oh, geez. I thought that was it. I thought, please.
You know what? You would have to do a filibuster. If they break this thing down,
we don't have enough material.
You're right, though. I kind of flinched. I thought, here we go. Vega trying too hard. You know, he is really taking on Dan Marley. Now he's grinning, but kind of a derisive grin. Trying awfully hard. Marley committing his 3rd foul. Well, 17 threes. 65% from the field. Only 3 turnovers. Miller, 28 points. He's had 59 in the last 2 games.
How about
dominating?
You know, it's surprising that Puerto Rico's hit 9 also. I hadn't, you know, as you watch this game, we kept watching the USA, hadn't realized that they've made 9.
Well, Vega scored all 12 points in the second half of play. He's played awfully hard and with a lot of emotion, sometimes misdirected. Shaquille backing out on Felix Lopez. If Lopez is going to go back and say, Coach, what do I do with that?
I mean, you've got to come back on him. You've got to double him from somewhere. No, one guy can stop. You just can't stop him from backing in. He is, in our league, the most difficult guy to defend, or to referee, and defend in the low post.
Why do you say that?
Because of his strength in his moves. You never know when penalties committing an offensive foul when he turns into it because they're big and strong? Or are you supposed to just back out of it? It's a really tough job for the officials.
Well, threes being rained here, Marley, and then coming back at the other end. Puerto Rico answering. Shaquille again. Felix Lopez, they list him at 6'10". He looks more like 6'8", and he just, in frustration, hit the ball up in the air. He's saying to himself, I have no chance. I can do nothing. Help me, please.
Reggie is one of the top guys that he can talk with the best of them.
Well, Vega started all of it. He brought it all on himself.
Oh, he did. He's going to continue to challenge. They're just giving the ball. He's going to go at Marley one-on-one.
You know, Shaquille has 23 points, 19 in this half. So they've gone from the outside shooting to the inside scoring of Shaquille O'Neal. Here comes Vega back at the other end, and Mark picked his pocket. You're absolutely right. Everybody hangs around for the end of the ball games because of what goes on.
Yeah, nobody's leaving. They love this part of it. And right now, USA is not playing the same kind of defense, so Puerto Rico's getting some easy scores.
How do you get their attention defensively when you're leading 123 to 68?
It's a little difficult.
Your discipline would... Oh, Chuck. It's getting closer to that thing coming down. He had 7 dunks Sunday.
You know, even the Puerto Rican coaches are now smiling. They're starting to enjoy it. They're realizing what this is all about and saying, this is worth seeing. Look out.
Well, he's going to pass it this time. Steve Smith is trying to pull a Shaquille there. I think he was going to put it off the glass and then slam it away.
Or was he bouncing it off the floor?
I don't know what he was doing, but it looked like he was setting himself up. Look at Derek Coleman. All right, let's go back now. This LJ.
Showtime.
The onslaught continues.
The world.
125 to 68. The United States leading by 57 points right now. That's the most they've had. Last night they won by 56, 55 against China. You know, when Spain played them so close, and talking to Coach Morales, he thought that kind of gave the indication you could play with the United States for some length of time. Boy, it didn't happen tonight.
No, they gave, I think the U.S. team got a little bit of a wake-up call at that point.
Gill tips it out to Marley. The only guy that didn't play tonight is Joe Dumars. And here is Mark Price not finishing it. Senio comes out of there after some problems. 3:39 left in this ball game. Senio from outside. He hit a 3 there earlier. He has 13 points in the ball game. Marley, that's a long distance 3. That was 3-point land there in the NBA. They got to give him 4 for that. That's 15 points now for Marley. Marley saw that one coming, didn't he? Oh, they better check that goal out after this game.
Yeah, this is getting a little ugly at this point. 2:55 to go.
I mean, it may have some real wear and tear. Goaltending.
There's a good reason why you can't play zone this league. Imagine if you played a 2-3 zone and put him in the middle of the lane. You would never get a shot within 12 feet of the basket.
Boy, that's a
Look at
good
this.
point.
Look at this block. Oh,
that's a very good point. People don't like illegal defenses, but you get a guy back there just kind of waiting to fly swatter. 2.5 minutes left in the game. Puerto Rico, who won the Goodwill Games, didn't even get to go home to enjoy it. There was a lot of celebration back in that island. They had to come directly from St. Petersburg here.
You know, that's a very passionate country about basketball. I've been down there. In fact, I was there 2 weeks ago. A friend of mine, Sammy Diaz, has a basketball camp, and they're very passionate about the game.
And that's going to go as a block from Larry Johnson to the trailing Marlin. Tracking it down. Allende. Again from the corner, and the left-handers hit some threes. It's been one of the bright spots in the late minutes of this ball game.
Yeah, he's a good shooter. I think his role is as a shooter. Not a great ball handler. There he got very aggressive with Larry Johnson. He's very upset. He's not happy about what's happening.
And Fico Lopez is coming to the ball game now, the veteran. He fouled out. That was his 5th foul.
I think he was ready to leave.
Yeah, I think so. He was going to go out with a flourish.
Yeah, it's time for a McDonald's or whatever.
Here comes Carter. He played a lot early. Haven't seen a lot of him since that time. Good hustle right now by Allende. 1:19 left in the ball game. Carter with the 2. Seemed like a long time ago when he was dribbling the ball out here. Yeah. 20 seconds off the shot.
We talk about this game being shorter. It's not short enough for some of these clubs they're playing against.
Shaquille with another slam. He has 27. 22 points for Dominique Wilkins. 28 points for Reggie Miller. And we're coming into the last minute of this one. Nobody's stopping the ball here.
No, he got all the way to the basket, didn't score. He decided he passed off enough. Time for him to get a shot.
Carter again. Rebound is cleared by Larry Johnson. Look out. He had bigger ideas with that slam initially.
He kind of fumbled it, but still made a great play, catching and being able to finish the play.
That's what Donnell's talking about. He can't believe the hands that Shaquille O'Neal had.
Great. That was a perfect example.
Look at this. This is a long 3 by Marley, and we're winding it down as the United States, 134 points. That's the high in the tournament. They scored 132 earlier in the tournament in beating China. The USA 5-0 now in this World Championship of basketball. 2-0 in Group 1, and now Russia Friday night, who likewise is undefeated. And very interesting, and you'll see it all here on TNT at 9:30 Eastern Time. The strategy for Puerto Rico is to let them shoot outside, and the United States loved every minute of it. We'll be back with some final thoughts in a moment.
Team 2 is back in action Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern on TNT. Tomorrow night, do you know where your favorite movies are?
Lots of bad guys, but 7 good guys. Odds are against them, I'd say.
This is the kind of arithmetic I like.
Randy Travis hosts one of our favorite movies.
Magnificent.
Brenner, Bronson, and McQueen in one of our favorite movies, The Magnificent Seven. Tomorrow at 9, followed by 2 of the sequels, only on TNT.
I want to see this.
Me too.
What now? Who's Etienne?
Who cares? Come on.
Etienne fix everything! Who's Etienne?
He's a camel repairman.
What?
He's a mechanic.
You're kidding.
Hope he takes Visa. Oh, he does.
Visa Gold can get you cash more places worldwide than any other card, even American Express.
Etienne fix everything.
Visa Gold.
The USA Basketball Player of the Game, brought to you by Visa. It's everywhere you want to be.
Well, our Visa Player of the Game, Reggie Miller. Look at this. 13 of 17 three-point field goals, 59 points in the last 2. And part of Visa's continuing effort to support amateur athletics, Visa is proud to donate $1,000 to the U.S. Olympic team in Reggie Miller's name in order to help further the development of U.S. Olympians present and future. A 51-point victory tonight. That's the biggest margin of victory for the United States as they just continue to get better every night. Dan Marley had 17 points, 6 of 8 field goals, 5 of 6 from three-point land. And Dan, this was a shooter's dream tonight.
It really was. We came out and they played zone all first half and really didn't even contest the shots. Reggie had a great first half, 8 three-pointers. Dominique hit him. Mark Price came in and hit him. So we couldn't believe they stayed in the zone for that long.
You know, you were shooting them out at the three-point land NBA style.
I missed the NBA. I had to get back to normal. But, you know, we had a lot of fun out there tonight, and that's the way we got to play. I mean, we weren't the big guys. Shaq was great, obviously, so it was fun.
Well, how do you feel about the line? Is it too close internationally?
Oh, I think it's way too close. You see all their big guys shooting it with these. I mean, everybody on the court can pretty much make that shot. So I think you got to make it challenging and move it back to the NBA 3.
What do you think will happen with the NBA if they would, in fact, move it in a little bit? Good idea, bad idea?
Bad idea. You know, we'd have too many people. I think we shoot too many threes. It is. It's probably funny for me to say that because I shoot a lot of threes. But if we moved it in, I think the game would predicate around the three-point shot, and you'd see bigger guys stepping out instead of going into the power guys.
You guys, again, we mentioned to Joe last night, having a lot of fun together. You really come together personally, I think, and it shows on the court. Everybody's rooting for each other. People are not worrying about minutes and shots and that sort of thing.
Not at all. I mean, we're having a great time. Our one objective is to win the gold medal, and if we do that, we're going to be very happy. We don't really care how many points we want to win. Tonight, we wanted to run it up as much as possible because we have a lot of expectations, but our main goal is to win the gold and to support each other on the floor, make sure nobody gets hurt, and just to have fun playing basketball.
How about physically? You think this helps you for the coming year, hurts you? You know, your time off. It takes a certain period of time out of your off time.
It takes a little time off, but it's good to get out. I like playing basketball during the summer, and this kind of keeps you in the groove, and you can kind of work on your game. And I don't think with the 12 players we got on the floor, nobody's getting a lot of minutes, so I don't think we're wearing ourselves out. So, and plus, we're only gone for about a month, so that's not too bad.
Dan, what about Russia? Have you been able to watch them?
I watched a little bit of them yesterday, and they look like a pretty good team. You know, real experience, know how to play basketball. So we expect the competition to get tougher and tougher as we play.
And you watched Croatia just before this game tonight.
Yeah, big front line, of course. Raja and Kukoc, two real fine players in the NBA. So they're going to be fired up to play against us. So we're going to have to come out, and if we play like we did tonight, I don't think we'll have any trouble.
I agree. Dan, thank you very much for stopping by.
Okay, guys, thanks.
So we hope you'll join us again Friday for more World Championship basketball featuring the USA and Dream Team 2. All the action begins at 9 o'clock Eastern as the USA takes on Russia. Doug Collins and Ron Thulin will have all the action. Coming up next, Heart of Justice, starring Eric Stoltz and Dennis Hopper. So for the coach, Chuck Daly, I'm Gary Bender saying good night from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.